Hey everybody, welcome to our next edition of Lion Fight Zoom Chats. This one's a pretty exciting one. I hope they all are, but this one's a really good one. As of course, Justin Kwan is on the controls in New York. Nathan Corbett joins us, and our guest this week is Sean Wheelock, who will be handling the play-by-play duties for Lion Fight in 2021 as we debut and have a huge calendar of events on UFC Fight Pass. Sean, welcome to you. Welcome to everybody. Let's start off right from the top. I'm sure you guys have been asked this before, or Sean, definitely you've been asked this before, but for Sean first and then Nathan, what is the toughest part about being a fight play-by-play guy?
For me, is that it's a dream job. It's something I wanted to do as a kid, is to be a commentator, and specifically a fight commentator. When I was a kid, my world of fighting in Kansas City was basically boxing and professional wrestling, and I knew I wanted to be in that. So there's nothing difficult for me. It's a passion. What I will tell you is what people don't see is the work, the preparation. It's funny. So many people think that if we're on air at 7, like I'm flying in that morning or afternoon, I'm showing up about 6:58. And the reality is I'm on the ground 2-3 days before a fight. As you know, Scott, Nathan, as you know, when we were together in Dublin last March, for me, it's about preparation. I sit down and I speak to every fighter. I treat every fight and every fighter the same. And what I mean by that is I'm going to devote the same amount of time to talking to a fighter, to prepping a fight. It doesn't matter if it's the main event or if it's an early prelim. It doesn't matter if it's on UFC Fight Pass for me, or if it's on a foreign channel internationally, or if it's somewhere on the internet. I put the same effort onto it. So there's nothing difficult for me. It really is absolutely a passion. It's so much fun. It's just the behind the scenes. It's putting the show together. Once I've spoken to every fighter that we're going to be commentating on the card, then I can relax, and then it's fun on air. Nathan, I guess it's like the adage that when you fight, that's fun, because the difficult part was training. It's kind of that commentator's version of that for me.
And Nathan, you've sat beside some excellent announcers throughout your career, but there's always something that makes life difficult or preparation difficult for you as the ringside analyst and expert. What is the most challenging part of your role?
Yes, I have actually in my I think 12 events that I've done, 12 or 13. I have had the honor to work with 4 different great experienced commentators. Of course, my last show was last March in Ireland for Lion Fight with Sean, which is great to be stepping into 2021 and working together, because you've got to have a bit of a dance and a bit of a synergy going on. As Sean mentioned, it's because it's a new world for me. As Sean mentioned, is the preparation is a lot of time before when we go on live, and then we just start talking and start flowing and start coming out like it's natural. That takes preparation. The things that I find that's obviously remembering everyone's names, because there's so many fighters all the time, and you got to say the name fast, because it's like it's there and there. It's like left and right. It's white and black. It's like it's on quick. So at the same time, be watching the fight, studying the fight, and as an analyst, I have to make sure that I give my best, feeling to the viewer that might not be understanding what's happening. Also talking about what could be happening. As a champion myself and a former world champion, I come in with experience, but I also don't want to make sure that I put anyone down, but I also want to make sure that I express what they could be doing better. So always the hardest thing, other than all I've just spoke about, is making sure that I don't let anyone feel silly, or I don't make anyone feel bad, or point something out that is not necessary. So it's just a matter of making everyone feel good, look good, but say what I need to say, because my opinion matters, but not be too opinionated at the same time.
Okay. So with us just a few days away now from the event in Wyoming, Sean, I wanted you to take kind of maybe one fight in particular on that card that you're doing all your preparation for, and maybe is there a fight in particular of the 6 that will be on UFC Fight Pass that you're particularly intrigued by?
Yeah, there is. It's the Peacock Diop fight. Jake Peacock. That's a fighter that Nathan and I had the pleasure of commentating in Ireland last year. I was a big fan of his dad. After combat sports, I love footy, soccer, especially the Premier League, and I love the NFL. I'm a combat sports guy first and foremost, but once I've exhausted the DVR of that and watched everything Fight Pass, then I'm going usually to the Premier League and to the NFL. And so I knew Jake Peacock's dad. He actually played for a club that I support, Queens Park Rangers. It was a big thrill to meet his dad. It was a big thrill to meet him. And, I almost didn't even want to talk about the fact that I don't like the term disabled because he's absolutely not disabled.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that he was born with, the umbilical cord wrapped around his hand. And he has, I would say, differently formed than other people. But it's not a disability at all. He certainly doesn't fight like he's disabled. He doesn't view it like that. What he is a superior athlete. He's a phenomenal fighter. I'm really looking forward to seeing him fight. It's a step up for him. It's a co-main event. It's going to be a lot of pressure. There's no doubt. Fighting in the United States, fighting on this first ever Fight Pass card, the audience, not just in the U.S., in his native Canada, worldwide, is going to be huge. Fight Pass does massive numbers in the United Kingdom, which is where the Peacock family is from. Yeah. But that's a fight. Our co-main, our main is great, but our co-main, Peacock Duke, I'm really excited about that bout.
Nathan, same question for you. Of the 6 that are on UFC Fight Pass, one that stands out as something you're particularly interested in.
Well, I have to agree with Sean. Obviously, we're always excited to have Jake Peacock on the card. He's three fights for Lion Fight with 3 knockouts. Of course, moving on from him, even though you're giving me one choice, I'm going to give you 3.
Okay.
Of course, Chris, with his story and his hunger and with the title on the line, with his opponent change, like so much going on for him. So that's an exciting fight. But then after meeting Natalie, of course, Killface, last week, I'm a little excited about that fight against, Candice Mitchell. So we always love the females on there, and they scrap hard. So with the name Killface, that's going to be my pick for the fight for the night.
That one did get her nickname. It stood out to you right away, didn't it? It was like, what is the story Carnage, behind that? And I want to follow it.
Yeah, I mean, Carnage is pretty savage. You kind of get what you're kind of going to get what Carnage is, and I really delivered Carnage. So then when I, you hear these other fight names and they're cool, but I'm like and for a female, I'm like Killface. I'm like, okay. And she smiles and she's all happy and gentle, and it's like Killface. I'm like, okay, this is going to be serious.
Sean, I wanted to also ask you, I mean, obviously this is the first event of Lion Fight being on UFC Fight Pass, scheduled for a minimum of 10 events this year. What do you see as the biggest advantage for Lion Fight being part of the UFC Fight Pass family moving forward?
Yeah, there's so many. Aside from getting to work with Nathan, which is my biggest thrill on this, my second biggest thrill is Fight Pass. And I've been really fortunate over the last 6 years to commentate numerous shows on Fight Pass, including, Scott, where you and I first worked together at the late Great Victory Fighting Championship, an MMA organization. One of the early major promotions on Fight Pass that did very well. Fight Pass brings a worldwide audience. I talk about the fact that it's truly international, that when you're on Fight Pass, that people are watching in Brazil, they're watching in Russia, they're certainly watching in the United States, Canada, Australia, Germany. It's a worldwide audience. There's no question about it. And then with the UFC name, I'm going to show you guys something if I can. There's my framed UFC 1 poster from Art Davie. And I think a lot of people know that Art Davie is basically my surrogate father at this point. Art Davie, of course, is the creator of the UFC. He's enshrined in the Hall of Fame as such. What Art Davie created in 1993 lives on, certainly through 2001 and beyond. It's that stamp of credibility. There's great awareness with Lion Fight. There have just been a lot of people who've not had the opportunity to watch it or watch it on a regular basis. All of that changes now with Fight Pass. It's that great symbiotic relationship. Lion Fight, make no mistake, we are the best Muay Thai promotion in the world. Fight Pass is the gold standard for MMA, and with their digital channel, their OTT channel, UFC Fight Pass, they've taken so many promotions, even as high as they were, to the next level. It's that worldwide audience. It's, again, that symbiotic relationship with UFC Fight Pass. It's creating the awareness, creating the buzz, and it plays upon itself. People who love Lion Fight are now going to be turned on to Fight Pass and see what else is out there. And people who subscribe to Fight Pass, who know Lion Fight, but for whatever reason didn't watch us or watch us regularly, they're now going to become hardcore regular viewers of Lion Fight. I really could not be more thrilled.
And Nathan, just for you to follow up on that, because, you heard throughout the last couple of years that, obviously we'd have these international fighters on our card from France and Australia and the UK. And you and I would always get asked, well, where can we watch it? And it's disappointing to say, well, I'm sorry, I just don't know, because, this channel or this service was not available. It's got to, just bring so much more attention. And you have so many international followers and friends that it's just got to take things to a new level when you can say, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, it might be on at 3:00 in the morning, but wherever you may be elsewhere in the world, but at least you'll be able to see it live. And obviously later on follow-up, you can watch it, whenever you want to. But it makes such a difference to be able to tell people anywhere in the world you can see Lion Fight.
Yeah, that's right. Over the last 2 years, I've been hit up from so many, people going, where can I tune in, listen to the commentator? Where can I tune in and watch the fights? And of course, we've had multiple Australians, fly over to America to fight, and all the Australians are hitting me up saying, where can we watch it? How can we do it? Even the fighter himself, how can I, tell my family back at home? And I always have to say, oh, I'm sorry, it's on the network over here in the US. So as soon as I knew that we were with UFC Fight Pass, I was super excited, because not only am I excited that everyone around the world can tune in and grow the sport of Muay Thai, and of course the brand Lion Fight, it gives so many more opportunities for so many more fighters to be seen, which then helps them with sponsors. It helps them grow. Just really helps the whole Muay Thai world. Even though it's the best thing that's happened to Lion Fight, it just helps everyone in Muay Thai. So that gives me so much excitement. And for that being said, of course, we would love to be able to also take a show to Australia and have a Lion Fight event there and play live from Australia, broadcasting on the UFC Fight Pass. We wouldn't be able to do that, with so much, these other platforms. So it just gives us so much more, variety and excitement. And as Sean mentioned, that UFC brand is so powerful. It's like, it's the Nike tick, it's the UFC stamp. It's like the golden stamp of approval, of quality, and that's what we are.
And it's going to be exciting as we get further and further along into 2021 to be able to announce shows that are coming up. We're going to go heavy international. So we're starting the year in the US, but stay tuned, because there's a lot of international travel coming up for us. And we did mention there quickly that, the first 3 shows are going to be in the US. Sean, we are coming to your stomping grounds, I guess we will say. We officially announced it when we announced our tandem with UFC Fight Pass, but this last week or so, more details coming out about the March show coming up in Kansas. Just wanted to get your thoughts real quick to wrap up this edition on Lion Fight coming to Kansas, and in particular, bring in some very big fighters to that show.
Yeah, there's a real buzz here. And, Kansas, we're definitely an MMA state, but we have a long history of kickboxing, which has evolved into Muay Thai. The Kansas Athletic Commission proudly has been one of the early states to adopt full Muay Thai rules. And that's not uniform across the United States, but certainly in Kansas, you have the full Muay Thai rules, which like you've seen in Nevada, like you've seen in California, you will see that in Kansas. there's a real buzz about this. There are going to be some in-state fighters. Obviously, there are the international fighters, the big stars coming in from Lion Fight. This is going to be a really fun event. You know, Kansas is very quietly become one of the leading lights in fight promotion in terms of sheer volume and the diversity, hosting everything from a UFC event to Invicta to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship to Showtime Championship Boxing. To get Lion Fight is really big in this state. And I have a lot of fighters already asking me about, hey, can you get me on the card? What's the status of the card? And if not, can you get me some tickets?
Yeah, of course, right. So that for those of you that maybe hadn't heard yet, that is coming up. That's Lion Fight going to be coming up in March. That'll be March 12th. In Hutchinson, Kansas, just outside of Wichita. In the meantime, and our debut event on UFC Fight Pass will be February the 12th, coming up in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We're excited about that. And of course, in the broadcast booth that night will be Sean Wheelock and Nathan Corbett. Thank you guys for doing this. We are, like I say, days away now from the card. So the countdown has begun. We're excited. And we will see you guys in a couple of days. And we'll see everybody else on our next edition of Lion Fight Zoom Chats.